Imagine a time when the world was a darker place, where crime wasn't just a matter of law, but of survival, deception, and chilling secrets buried deep in the past. Today, we're diving into four of the most spine-chilling true crime cases that have kept experts on edge for decades. These aren't just stories. They're unsolved mysteries that continue to haunt the minds of those who dare to unravel them. From a woman accused of murdering her husband for the ultimate inheritance, to a brutal double homicide that left a trail of blood and unanswered questions, these cases are as mysterious as they are horrifying. But the question remains, were the wrong people convicted, or were these crimes just the beginning of something far darker? Get ready to step into a world where the truth is elusive, and justice, well, that may be something we never truly understand. Buckle up, because these stories are about to take you on a roller coaster of suspense, intrigue, and mystery. You won't believe what's waiting for you in the shadows. Are you ready to uncover the chilling details? Let's begin. These historical cases are filled with twists, mysteries, and unanswered questions that still haunt investigators and capture the public's imagination. From a notorious serial killer to a gruesome double murder, these cases continue to defy logic and remain unsolved. Case 1. The mysterious death of Fanny Barber, 1933. In 1933, Fanny Barber was accused of brutally murdering her elderly husband, William Barber, in County Down, Northern Ireland. The prosecution believed that Fanny killed William in a fit of greed, fearing she would be cut out of his will. But was she guilty of this horrifying crime? Fanny's trial was one of the most sensational in Northern Ireland at the time. With no clear evidence, the prosecution painted a picture of a cold-hearted woman willing to kill for financial gain. But Fanny's defense argued that an intruder was responsible for the crime. Despite the inconsistencies in her own story, she was convicted and sentenced to death, later commuted to life imprisonment. Did Fanny truly murder her husband, or was she a victim of an unjust system? The lack of concrete evidence has left this case as one of Northern Ireland's most debated mysteries. The chilling question remains: was Fanny really guilty, or was she the victim of a miscarriage of justice? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Could the real killer still be out there? Case 2. The heinous crimes of Hugo Schank, Austria, Czech Republic, 19th century. The name Hugo Schank might not be familiar to most, but his story is as horrifying as they come. In the late 1800s, Schank, alongside his accomplice Karl Schlosser, carried out a series of gruesome murders across Austria and the Czech Republic. They lured women under the pretense of marriage, only to kill them for financial gain. But how many victims fell victim to their schemes? Schank and Schlosser were both notorious criminals, their methods being deceit, fraud, and murder. Their crimes came to light in 1884, when they were finally arrested. Hugo Schank was hanged, but his accomplice Schlosser was sentenced to life imprisonment. Despite their convictions, there's always the lingering question of how many more victims were never discovered. While Schank was convicted, it's believed that many of his crimes went undetected. How many innocent women were killed by these con men, and how many others escaped their deadly clutches? Could there have been even more victims of Schank and Schlosser? What do you think drives people to commit such horrific crimes? Let us know in the comments below. Case 3. The gruesome murders of the Papin sisters, France, 1933. In 1933, in a quiet French town, Christine and Léa Papin, two maids, committed a horrific double murder. Their victims, their employer, Madame Lancelin, and her daughter Geneviève. The sisters gouged out their victims' eyes and brutally mutilated them. But what could possibly have driven them to such unspeakable violence? Christine and Léa were known to be extremely close, with a bond that bordered on unhealthy. They had endured years of abuse and mistreatment, and the night of the murders, they snapped. Their defense team claimed that the years of torment had pushed them to the edge. But was that enough to explain the brutality of their actions? Christine was sentenced to life imprisonment and later institutionalized, while Leah served only 10 years. Was the gruesome murder a result of years of abuse, or was something darker at play? Could there have been other factors that drove the sisters to commit such a horrifying act? Do you think the Papin sisters were driven by abuse, or was something deeper at play? Share your theories below. Let's discuss. Case 4. The Vanishing of Kenneth Beasley, North Carolina, 1905. On a quiet afternoon in 1905, 8-year-old Kenneth Beasley vanished near a swamp in North Carolina. Despite exhaustive search efforts, Kenneth was never found. The case remains unsolved to this day, with many questions left unanswered. Was he kidnapped, or did he meet a tragic end? Kenneth Beasley's disappearance was a major news story in 1905, with locals on edge about the safety of their own children. A bootlegger named Joshua Harrison was convicted of kidnapping Kenneth, but he later committed suicide in jail, further complicating the investigation. To this day, no one knows what truly happened to young Kenneth. What really happened to Kenneth Beasley? Was he abducted, or did he simply vanish into thin air? Some say the case will never be solved, while others continue to search for answers. Do you think Joshua Harrison was truly guilty, or was someone else responsible for Kenneth's disappearance? What do you think happened to Kenneth? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. These chilling cases continue to fascinate and intrigue people to this day. Whether they were victims of injustice, society's biases, or mental health issues, the unanswered questions surrounding each case leave us wondering what really happened. Theories abound, but the truth remains elusive. If you're fascinated by these true crime mysteries, be sure to check out books like The Senator's Son by Charles Oldham, which dives deeper into one of these haunting cases. What do you think about these infamous cases? Which one do you find the most perplexing? Share your thoughts below, and let's continue the discussion. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling true crime stories. The 4 historical true crime cases present rich lessons on justice, human nature, and societal influence. Here's what we can learn from each. Fanny Barber, 1933. The consequences of injustice and doubt in the legal system. Justice can sometimes fail when the system is swayed by inconsistencies and societal pressures. The case of Fanny Barber teaches us the potential danger of wrongful convictions when legal processes are influenced by emotions and biases. The failure to uncover a clear truth, despite her insistence on innocence, highlights the complexities of justice, especially when the accused is seen as guilty in the eyes of society. It reminds us to question the validity of evidence and the importance of a fair, unbiased trial. 2. Hugo Schank and Karl Schlosser, 1884, The Darkness of Greed and Deception. The corrupting influence of greed and the lengths people will go to for financial gain can be devastating. Schank's story illustrates how financial motives can drive individuals to extreme violence and exploitation. It also raises questions about how the legal system deals with serial offenders and their enablers. Reflection. This case highlights the depths of human depravity and the dangers of unchecked greed. It teaches us the importance of vigilance and how easily people can fall victim to manipulative scams. 3. The Papin sisters, 1933, The Impact of Abuse and Social Isolation Lesson. Years of abuse and social isolation can have catastrophic effects on mental health and behavior. Key takeaway. The brutal crime committed by the Papin sisters underscores the tragic consequences of prolonged abuse. The way society viewed them as mad rather than victims reflects how mental health and emotional trauma were often misunderstood or ignored at the time. Reflection. The case encourages society to take a closer look at the mental health and well-being of individuals in abusive situations. It shows how neglect and mistreatment can erode an individual's capacity for rational behavior. 4. The disappearance of Kenneth Beasley, 1905. The persistence of unsolved mysteries and the limitations of justice. Lesson: some mysteries may never be solved, and the search for truth can be as haunting as the crime itself. Key takeaway: Kenneth Beasley's disappearance teaches us that not all crimes are resolved, and justice is not always served. It reflects the imperfection of the justice system and the frustrating reality that not every case can be neatly tied up with answers. Reflection: it shows that some stories remain unsolved, leaving lasting impact on families and communities. It reminds us of the importance of continued efforts in seeking truth and justice, even when answers seem elusive. Overall lesson from all cases: human nature and justice. These cases all involve themes of desperation, greed, mental health struggles, and the human tendency to conceal truths. They emphasize the importance of understanding the psychological and social factors that lead to crimes, the complexity of truth. In many cases, the truth remains obscured, whether by public perception, societal biases, or the limitations of the legal system. These stories remind us that truth can sometimes be elusive and justice imperfect. Empathy and vigilance. These cases underline the need for empathy in understanding the circumstances surrounding crimes, as well as vigilance in pursuing justice for those who have been wronged or silenced. Through these haunting tales, we are reminded to be critical of the systems in place and to always seek the whole truth, no matter how unsettling or unresolved it may be.